How's it going, viewers? Welcome back to another video, and today, because I thought I've got a little bit more time on my hands, and I'm not really doing any racing at the moment, I thought we'd do another tier list video, and I thought we'd do another iRacing tier list, because I am basically an iRacing, YouTuber now, because it's all I ever post, because it's all I ever play. So I thought we'd carry on with the theme, do another tier list, because I quite enjoy making these ones, and I think you guys quite enjoy watching them. So that's what we're going to be doing. Today, instead of doing iRacing tracks, we're going to be ranking every single iRacing car that I currently own, which if I scroll down is this selection of cars right here. A lot to get through. I don't own as many cars as I do tracks, so this should hopefully not be a 50-minute video ranking almost every single road track on the service. But that's what we're going to be ranking today. As you can see on the left here, or maybe my face is covering it, but we've got, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers, ranging from S tier up the very top, to all sign me up tier, to pretty good car tier. Then in the middle, we've got sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit tier. We've got have driven this more than once. And then our bottom tier, apart from cars that I don't own, we have driven this once and for good reason. So that's what we're working with. Hopefully we'll enjoy. As you can see, I've already added in the cars I don't own down the bottom. So a lot there that we don't have to get through. But let's get into it. Hopefully we'll enjoy. Yeah, let's start. Okie dokie, so we're going to get into it straight away. Before we start, I might have a few unpopular opinions in this video. If I do, and if you disagree with any of them, please feel free to go at me in the comments. I do not mind. Speak your mind if your mind wishes to be spoken. But let's go, shall we? First, we're going to try and power through these as quick as I can, because like I said in the intro, I don't want this to be a 58-minute video like the Tracks tier list video was. But we're going to get started straight away. First car there, it's the HBD ARX 0C, or whatever it's called. The GT prototype, which they use in the Proto GT series, in the officials. Fairly good car. I would say I've driven this car a lot in the past. It's not a car I really drive too much these days, as I just don't drive much Proto GT. But a fun car nonetheless. Very high aero, a lot of mechanical grip, a lot of aero grip too. So it's a very quick car. It is not S tier. That is reserved for a couple of cars. But I'm gonna throw it in pretty good car to start with. A car I do enjoy driving, just not a car that I drive too much anymore, but a very good car to drive. And continuing on with the Proto GT theme, we've got the Aston Martin GT1, a car I have done one race in. So theoretically, I could put this in, driven this once and for good reason, but that one race I did, which I streamed the other day, was a very fun race, and a car which I kind of clicked with straight away. I kind of preferred it over the GT3s, because it's got more aero, and it's all round just quicker. And, to top it off, it's very good looking as well. It's a very good looking car, and it sounds amazing. So I think for that, honestly, I'm going to go for all sign me up tier. Yeah, it's a great car. It's actually a really fun car, and I'm glad I bought it. But, before we continue on, I must say what I'm ranking these on. I'm ranking these on how good they look, how fun they are to drive, how fun they are to race, and how good they sound. That is like my 4 criteria. Also, all sign me up tier. What I mean by that is, if someone tells me that there is a race going on with this car soon, I'm like, ooh, sign me up, because I want to drive it. That is what that means. But, let's carry on. Okay, up next, continuing on with the GT theme, Audi 90 GTO, obviously the IMSA vintage car, the GTO series. This is a car I haven't really driven too much of. a car that I do enjoy driving. It is very, it is a unique challenge compared to everything else on the service. All-wheel drive, a lot of power. I'm going to go for the same tier as the HPD, but I'm going to put it above the HPD because I think it is just a little bit more fun than it, purely because of the challenge of like clutch shifting, and you get that all-wheel drive-ness, is how I would put it. So I'm going to put the Audi 90 GTO in there, and then the Nissan GTP ZX-T, which is the prototype for the IMSA Vintage Series, I'm going to put in All Sign Me Up. I think out of the two cars, obviously they both run in the same series, out of the two cars, I think I prefer the prototype more. Can't really explain why, just kind of prefer it. Obviously I did the IMSA Classic 500 earlier in the year, which was a lot of fun. I did that in the Nissan, and that was an absolute blast. I think I just sort of prefer being in the higher class, at least with those older cars. And the Nissan looks phenomenal, so we're going to put the Nissan up there. Okay, next on this list, now we're going to get into some cars which I don't drive a lot of, and I have a love-hate relationship with. We've got the current GTPs. First one on this list, the Cadillac, which is the first GTP that I bought. And a car I don't really enjoy driving too much anymore. My favourite of the GTPs, and we'll get onto it in a minute, I can see down there, is the Ferrari. So for the Cadillac, honestly, it's just, yeah, it's like, it was a good car for me at first. Then they brought the tyre update in, and I became really shit in them. So for me, it's going to go in sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit, because it's not a car that I really enjoy anymore, because there are other GTPs I'd rather drive over the Cadillac. So I'm going to put it there. Next up, I was talking about is the Ferrari 499 GTP, a car I much prefer over the Cadillac. So I think for that reason, I'm going to put it in pretty good car. I am going to put it above the HPD. Am I going to put it above the Audi? No, I'm not. I'm going to throw it down here, because it is a car I enjoy driving. I drove it in the prototype series, was the fixed one about a week ago at Spa. And that was actually a really nice challenge. Being able to adjust brake bias and doing all of the regen stuff was quite good. And it's a car, at least handling-wise, I clicked with quite quickly. Also, in my opinion, it's the best looking out of all the GTPs. So I think for that reason, I'm going to put it bottom of pretty good car for now, because I do like the challenge of it, and it is my favourite GTP of the lot. Finally, for GTPs, it's the BMW, the M8 Hybrid, or whatever they call it. I'm going to put it in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, but I'm going to put it above the Cadillac, because this car I just like just a little bit more than the Cadillac, just handling-wise in general. For me, it's a bit safer, a bit easier to drive, and feels a bit more rewarding when you get it right. So I'm going to go for the M8 at the top of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Okay, next up. Ooh, this is a car that I like. Dallara P217, or LMP2 as it is known. This is a car that I really like. I'm a big fan of the LMP2. I love the way it drives. I love the way it sounds. I love the way it changes direction and everything, and it is a brilliant car to race, I think, when you're in a single-make race like LMP2 Challenge. But then again, I also like it because when you do the multi-class stuff in this car, I like the challenge of being faster than one class, but then being slower than the other class. So you've got to look ahead of you to make sure you don't hit the GT3, but then you've also got to look behind you to make sure you don't get rear-ended by a GTP. So I like that challenge of having to look in both directions rather than, obviously in the GTP you're only looking forward, and if you're in the GT3 you're only looking behind you. I like that challenge of having to look both ways when you multi-class race in the LMP2. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in All Sign Me Up. I think I will put it above the GT1 purely because I've just driven it more. That is the only reason it's going to go above the GT1. Purely because I've done loads of races in the LMP2 and I've only done one race in the Aston Martin. So it'll go into the top of All Sign Me Up. And then moving on, down here, we've got, that is a Chevrolet Corvette of sorts. I'm just going to zoom that in. that is the GT3 Corvette. I thought that was the watch move. I thought that was the GTE one for a second, but it is not. So the GT3 Corvette, one of the GT3s I like more, a snappy car, a very pointy car, which I like in a GT3, and it sounds phenomenal, and I think, personally, it is the best looking GT3 on the grid. I think might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to go to pretty good car, because GT3 is not really my specialty. It is a series I drive a lot of. I wouldn't say I absolutely adore GT3s, but I think that is going to be one of the highest GT3s I'm going to go with, but I wouldn't expect to put any of them in All Sign Me Up. Okay, so I think we're hitting the bulk of the GT3 field now. Next up is we're just going to power through this straight away, because GT3 is not really my thing. Anyways, next up is the Aston Martin. My favourite GT3 to drive is this car. So this is going to go top of pretty good car. Actually, you know what? No, it's not. It's going to go the bottom of All Sign Me Up. The Aston Martin for me is the car I'm most confident in any of the GT3s. I like the fact that it's the front engine car with the most turn-in, and it's stable enough at the rear where it's not like a McLaren or a Ferrari where it does like to over-rotate on you through corners. So Aston Martin is going to go up the top. Next up is the BMW M4 GT3, which again is one of my go-to cars for endurance racing. I do like, we did it in the Bathurst 12 hour and it felt really good there. So this is a car I much prefer over long distances. I'm going to go pretty good car. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to throw the Audi and the HPD over the GT3s there. But those are also two cars that I like. Ferrari 296, below the BMW, but still a decent car. I don't have much to say on that. Well, it was the first GT3 that I bought, and it was a fun car to drive when it was the only GT3 that I had. But moving on, next up is the McLaren. Do I like it over the Ferrari? I don't think I do. Has a cool dashboard and doesn't look too bad, but sort of it's in the middle of the road for me. Mustang GT3, understeery as hell, hate it, but it's going to go in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, because it isn't that bad. It's just my least favourite of the GT3s that I own. Next up is the Merc. I have won a championship in this car, a league championship in this car, so I can't be too harsh on it. It was okay. It felt decent. I would put it above the McLaren and the Ferrari just, but only just. And it's getting brownie points because I won a league title in that car. That is the only reason it's going up above those two. It's definitely better than the Ford Mustang, though. Moving on, we've only got two GT3s left. Damn, we really got through that fast. Porsche 911 GT3. Interesting one. Obviously, has been the OP car in recent times, as in the last sort of few months or so. So you've been seeing a lot of these things recently. I don't mind it. I don't like the way it sounds, and I don't really like the driving position in it. It feels okay to drive. Definitely better than the Ford Mustang. But I would put it... Actually, no, you know what? No, I'm going to put it over the McLaren. Not too bad of a car. I don't really have much of an opinion on the 911 GT3. And then finally for GT3s, Lamborghini Huracan, which, honestly, I'm going to put above the... oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to put it above... No. I'm going to put it under the Mercedes and above the Ferrari. It does have some interesting oversteer and unrecoverable spin quirks, especially in high speed, which can be annoying, but does sound pretty cool, and is pretty fun to race. So, yeah, I'm going to put it in pretty good car. All the GT3s can go in pretty good car, apart from the Mustang, which is dog shite in my eyes. But it's going to go in sometimes good, because it can be good on occasion. Okay, next up on this list, a few more GT3s to cover. Well, I say GT3s, GT Endurance. There are two of these cars that I own. I have, so out of all of them, in GTE, you've got the Corvette, the Porsche, the Ford GTE, the BMW, and I think that's it. No, the Corvette, the Ford, the Porsche, the BMW. I think that is everything. Oh, and the Ferrari. And out of those, I own the Ford and the Porsche. Ford is a decent car. It's the first one up here. I don't mind the Ford. One of my favourite looking race cars of all time. And that kind of what sold me into buying it. Which I've made that mistake plenty of times whilst playing iRacing, is buying a car because you think it looks good, and then because it looks good, it's going to drive really well. Not necessarily the case. The Ford is okay to drive, but with the other GTE on this list, the Porsche, I think I prefer the Porsche more. But the Ford is a pretty good car, and I'm going to throw it... I'm going to throw it behind the HPD, but ahead of the GT3s. I would definitely drive a Ford GTE over any GT3. That is not too hard of a decision for me. And then the Porsche, going off what I just said, obviously I prefer it a bit more over the GTE, so I'm going to throw it in the same category, and I'm going to throw it above the HPD, but behind the GTE. I would rather drive a Porsche GTE over the HPD, but I wouldn't drive it over the IMSA Classic Audi. So I'm going to throw those two in pretty good car. Okay, I'm still powering through this. We're getting there. We're getting there. Next up is the Ligier LMP3, or the JSP31, I think it's called. Not entirely sure on its full legal name, but the LMP3 car. I don't like this car as much as what I used to. It's very heavy. It's very bouncy. It's not that fun to race against a bunch of GT4s in. Yeah, and sort of as time's gone on, I've sort of disliked this car more and more. And honestly, I think I would rather drive a GT3 over this, but it's still not as bad as the Ford Mustang. So I'm going to put the LMP3 in. Sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit, because there are certain tracks where it actually isn't too bad. Donington Park is a good one, to name one, but it kind of sucks at, like, low-speed tracks. So I'm thinking, you know, your street courses, tracks with tight hairpins and the like. So, bit of a 50-50 on that car, but we haven't had any in the bottom two categories yet, which is encouraging. We're going to keep moving on to one of two GT4s that I own. This is the BMW M4 GT4, which is, I'd say, I've driven the M4 the most in officials, but there's one other GT4 I've driven more in because of leagues and things. But the BMW GT4 is a very fun car to drive. I'm going to put it in pretty good car above the HPD, and yes, and above the GTE. This is actually a car I am a big fan of. I like the way it handles bumps. I like the way you can attack curbs. I like the driving perspective. I think it's a very good-looking car. And yeah, it's a pretty good car. And I am a big fan of the M4 GT4. But carrying on more, now we've got two TCRs and a GT4 to do. Okay, so the Honda TCR is one of two TCRs that I own. The Honda is a car I haven't driven as much as the other one. For me, the TCRs kind of feel the same. They're kind of indistinguishable in my eyes, but I am a big fan of touring car racing. So both of these for me have got to go in a pretty good car. I think I think the Honda is the best looking. Sorry, it's the second best looking out of the TCRs. I think the Audi's the best looking, but the Honda is a close second for me. I'm gonna go above the HPD, behind the GTE. And then, while we're at it, we may as well rank the Veloster as well. The TCR I've done the most racing in, a car I'm quite used to now, and a car I quite like. And off of handling alone, I would put it above the Honda TCR, but I think the Honda TCR is a better looking car than the Veloster. But I'm going to put the Hyundai above it because it feels better to drive. And then, to wrap up this segment of the video, we're going to do the Aston Martin GT4, and this car is going to go and all sign me up. Brilliant car. I've done quite a few league races in it. I think it looks phenomenal. I'm a big Aston Martin fan because I'm past English. But this car is very cool, and I'm a big fan of the Aston Martin. A lot of people would disagree with me on the fact that it that it handles better than the BMW. Objectively, it doesn't. But in my eyes, I feel like I'm able to extract more from this car, and I get more enjoyment out of the Aston over the BMW. So the Aston is going to go in all sign me up. Okay, now, so for another big segment of the video, we've got production cars to rank. I'd probably say the type of car I drive the most of. I do a lot of PCC. I do a lot of Toyota. I've even started driving the Renault Clio now as well. So cars I drive a lot. And we're going to start with the Toyota GR86, which for me is going to go in the top of pretty good car. Obviously, I drive this in SRW. I've done hundreds of laps in this car. Doesn't go in all sign me up because it can be frustrating, but it is a pretty good car nonetheless. And a car I'm very sort of knowledgeable. That's not how you say that word. Knowledgeable about these days. So I'm going to put the Toyota at top of a pretty good car. Next up is the old M2, so the one we've just gotten rid of. The CS Racing. This one, I'm going to put in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Because it was just a very odd handling car. You know, you'd power through corners, you get these huge oversteer moments, very quick in a straight line compared to everything else around it, and a horrific driving position. So I'm gonna, and also at low speed tracks like, what am I thinking of? Oran Park, Circuit de Navarra, St. Petersburg, Road Atlanta, especially the club one. Circuits like that, to name a few, didn't feel particularly good at. Also, it felt pretty horrific at the Nordschleife as well. So I'm going to put that one in sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit. And then up next is the Jetta. Now, if I put this in anything lower than pretty good car, Kyle Ridley would not hesitate to kill me horrifically and make sure my body was never ever found. So for that reason, no, I'm kidding, not for that reason, this is a car I do get a lot of enjoyment out of. Is it better than the Toyota? I mean, I've never driven this in an official because I haven't been around on iRacing for long enough to drive this in an official. Because I joined the season it was replaced with by the Toyota. Still a fun car to drive. I'm going to put it in pretty good car above the GT4. Actually, no, I'm going to put it above the Audi 2 because it is a good it is a good car to have some knockabout fun in, especially what we were doing like last night, like last night as well, because we were driving this on dirt tracks, and it's very fun. So actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put it at the bottom of all sign me up. Good car, that one. Good car. Next up is the Pontiac Solstice. Have driven this more than once. That is going to be the first car to go down a tier, and I'm actually going to rename this tier to kind of shit. Because that's the cars in this tier. Like that. Yeah. I don't get along well with the Pontiac. I'm a firm believer of the slower the car, the better it is to race. This is the one exception. This is a car which, for me, is too slow. You know, they had it in the Ringmeister series, like 2 seasons ago, which I did. And, you know, even in the Slipstream, it's barely getting to, like, 140. My road car can do better than that. So, yeah. Gonna go in kind of shit. I'm not a big fan of the Pontiac Solstice. Still got more production cars to do. Got the Renault Clio. I've done, like, 2 races in this, and was very fun for me already. I'm gonna chuck it in pretty good car. I'm gonna go beneath... Am I? Yeah, I'm gonna go beneath the Audi, above the GT4. Pretty fun car to drive, that one. And does some pretty good racing too. But I haven't driven it too much to have like a proper good assessment of it. Next up is that's the Legacy MX-5, which I've driven once. But I'm just gonna put it in kind of shit because I've never driven it like properly. So I don't really feel I don't really feel comfortable in commenting on it. I'm going to put it in middle of the road just because, yeah, I'm not comfortable in commenting on that one. And then that car there is the current MX-5, which is a car I enjoy quite a lot. I'm going to put it in pretty good car. Is it a better car to race than the Toyota? No, it's not. Although it is better than the Audi, so I'm going to put it there as well. Current MX-5 is a car I've got a lot of hours in, and a car I do like, but a car I'm kind of bored of. I feel like I've done too many races in it, so I'm going to put it in pretty good car, because that's what it is. Okay, so pressing on now. Next up, oh, the Spec Racer 4. Now, this is a cool car. Car I don't drive too much anymore. Obviously, we made the video on it. But a car I really enjoy. This is going to go and all sign me up. It's going to go below the Jetta, but that is a fun car. With the way it drafts, and the way it's got like a kind of Formula rim, and it's slow enough to still have good battles, this is a very fun car to drive, and a very fun car to battle in. So that's going to go and all sign me up. Next up is the Porsche Mission R. Oh, I might get a bit of hate for this one. This is going to go in... No, this is going to go in the very... Oh, oops. This is going to go in the very bottom of pretty good car. This is actually a car I feel like is quite underrated. Not many people drive this, and for kind of good reason. But the interesting and like very unique challenge of driving a car with only one gear, which is fairly quick in a straight line and is enormously heavy and very fat, is actually quite a decent challenge. Obviously it does, like, I mean, obviously it sounds shit because it's electric, but it does look kind of cool. So, I'm going to go for pretty good car. I'm going to go for the bottom of pretty good car for the Mission R. And honestly, a car I recommend driving if you haven't. It is actually a unique challenge and one which is kind of fun. But moving on now to a car. What is that down there? Oh, yeah, no, this is a car I don't like. I literally did a race in this last night, and it was awful. Ferrari 296 Challenge. Kind of shit. Better than a Pontiac Solstice, but kind of shit. It bounces too much. The brakes are awful. You can't change the ABS. The people who drive it are whack jobs. And it doesn't turn. Does sound kind of cool, though. But yeah, not the car for me. Not at all. Kind of shit. Okay, so we've got a few Cup cars to rank now. We've got the current Porsche Cup, the 992.2, and the 992.1. Both cars which I haven't really clicked with the past. The Porsche 992.2, unpopularly, I'm going to put in kind of shit. Because when they brought it out, you know, oh, it's got traction control now, and it's got ABS now, kind of took away the whole point of why I used to drive the old Porsche Cup. Because I like the challenge of not having ABS and not having traction control. So the new one kind of did away with that, but then it still handles the same, and I never really quite clicked with the handling on this car. So the 992.2 I'm going to go with kind of shit. And the 992.1, the old one, I'm going to go in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Because I've had the odd good race in this car. But I preferred it over the new one, purely because it doesn't have any driving rates. I'm going to put it down there, above the Legacy MX-5. And yeah, moving on now. Cadillac CTS-V race car. This is, for those who don't know, this is in the Fanatec Global Series, the Class D one. A car I don't drive at all anymore because I am a Kia man, and I am very close to leading the Div 3 standings in the Kia because I've gotten quite good at it. So this is a car I don't really drive anymore. Things about this car, I don't like the way it changes gears. I think it's very clunky. I don't like the way it rolls through corners. I think it's very unpredictable. But it is kind of okay to race, and it does sound quite nice. Doesn't look very good, though. So, for the Cadillac, I'm going to put in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I think it's worse than an LMP3. It is definitely worse than a GT3. Yeah, it's going to go down. It's going to go to the bottom of sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit. It's not a car that I very much like at all, to be completely honest. Okay, so continuing on even more, we are getting near to the end of this, getting close. Next up is the Radical SR8. I do not own the SR10, so the Radical SR8 is the only one we have to grade. This is a fun car. Very fun. H-pattern gearbox. I've got it so it's sitting in the middle of the car as well. Very fun car. Especially, it's a very fun car to race. For this one, I'm going to go all sign me up. I'm going to put above the Spec Racer Ford. I am not going to put it above the Jetta or the GT3, though. because it isn't a car I drive often. It's not really in any officials anymore, and the last time I drove it was in 5th, for Good Friday. So, very fun car, and if the opportunity was there to drive it more, I would. Just isn't really the opportunity to drive it much, but a very fun car. I'm going to go all sign me up for that one. Next up, Kia Optima. Ooh, where do I go with this? This is a brilliant car. You know what? I'm actually having to think about this. It's going in S tier. First S tier car on the video, Kia Optima, the GOAT. The GOAT. The GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. I love this thing. I love the strategy elements. Obviously, you don't have to pit for tyres in the Fanatec Global Series, but you have to manage them, because if you don't, they fall off a cliff in the last 5 minutes of the race, and you can be really slow. The battling also in this is phenomenal as well, and I do like a good bit of front-wheel drive action. So, S tier for the Kia Optima, one of my favourite cars on the sim. Okay, well, wow, now looks like we're getting into the Formula section of the video, my area of expertise. I think I've got every Formula car in the game, apart from some of the F1 cars. So I feel like this is my most qualified area. Formula V, first up. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I don't like the way it changes gear. I don't think anyone likes the way it changes gear. But it is fun to race, especially with the slipstream. And it is good at very drafty tracks. So I'm going to put it at the top of there. I think that's fair enough. And then the AFF 1600, better known as the Formula Ford, can go in the same tier. But I prefer, honestly, as much as I kind of bag the Formula V from time to time, I actually prefer it over the Formula Ford. So I'm going to throw the Formula Ford just behind it, and sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit, ahead of the old M2. But getting these slower Formula cars out of the way, next up is the Skippy. A car I've driven a lot of, a car I really, really like. This is a brilliant car to race. H-pattern, road tyres, so you slide around quite a lot, and you've got to do a lot of manual correction of the wheel. This is going to go in all sign me up. It's going to go above the GT3. Yeah, that's a really fun car. I think anyone who doesn't enjoy the Skippy isn't a real person, or is an AI chatbot who has been told to not like the Skippy. Anyone who doesn't like the Skippy is lying to you, and that is my #1 rule of life. Don't listen to people who don't like the Skippy, because they aren't real. They are lying to you. They are lying to you. And then next up is the Formula 4. A car I kind of like. I like it at certain tracks. I've got a lot of friends who like this car a lot. I'm not a massive fan, although it isn't too bad of a car to drive. I'm going to throw it in pretty good car. I'm going to throw it ahead of the GT3s, and I'm going to throw it behind the GTEs. I'm going to throw it there. I think that's fair enough. Not a car I gel with too much, but when you do get a good race, and you do get a good grid of people, it can be a fun car to drive. So yeah, I'm going to put it in pretty good car. Okay, next up, we've still got more Formula cars to go, the Dallara F3. This is a car, I haven't done as much driving as I would have liked to in this. A car you get taken out a lot in, but a car which for me is kind of like the SFL, but with just less grip. Which does make it very fun. You know, I feel like this is a car which, to get lap time, you've really got to fight it. Unlike with cars, you know, you look at cars like the F4, the SFL, the GT3s, cars like that where you don't really have to fight the car too much to extract the pace. The Spec Racer Ford 2, this is a car where you do have to find the pace, and you really have to get on top of the car and fight with it to get the pace. And I enjoy that challenge. So for that reason, I'm going to throw it in the top of pretty good car. It's not quite all sign me up, but it is at the top of pretty good car, because I do enjoy its unique challenge of having to fight it constantly. And then just as we were talking about it, the SFL. Very fun car to drive. Obviously, I've driven in a lot of leagues. I've won a championship in it. It's going to go into all sign me up. And it's going to go to the top of all sign me up. A very fun car to race. I don't like the people who race it, because the people who race it are crazy. Not talking about anybody in SLW. Please don't kill me. I'm talking about people who race it in officials. Thank you. A fun car to drive, fun car to race with the right people, and yeah, all sign me up. Not quite S tier for me though. Not quite. But we'll get to some more S tier cars. Speaking of S tier cars, we have just been handed one on a silver platter. Formula Renault 3 3.5. First was introduced this car via Project Cars 2, and I thought it was very cool. Then I found out they were doing a League in GSLC for this car, and I'm like, oh my god, sign me up. And I've done like a few races in it, and oh, what a car. What a car. Formula Renault 3.5 is one of arguably the best car on the service. Such a fun challenge. Downforce, DRS, it is. And you guys can fight with me on this in the comments. But the Formula Renault 3.5 is the definitive best sounding car on iRacing. This car was my message tone for a while. Because every time I listen to this car, oh, amazing. I felt like I was floating. This car is the shit. So S tier for the Formula Renault 3.5. And I'm going to have to go listen to the engine again because it's immaculate. Okay, up next, ooh, a car I haven't driven in a while, the Super Formula SF23, so the regular Super Formula, a car I am a very big fan of, I quite like it. Do I think it's better than the SFL? No, not really. I do like its flimsiness. Actually, you know what, no, I do think it's better than the SFL, but it's very hard to get a race in with this car. You sort of tend to spread out. It is a very fun car to hot lap in, definitely. It sounds okay, looks okay. I'm going to put it in all sign me up. But I'm going to put it behind. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to put it at the top of all sign me up. A very fun car to drive. One of the cars I've sort of been repping from day one. Like ever since I bought it. A very fun car to drive. But does have its moments of, do I like this car? It's going to go there. And then next up, the Lotus 49. Is going to S tier. Ahead of the Kia. I prefer the Formula Renault 3.5, but the Lotus 49 goes in S tier. This thing is amazing. Clutching, old tyres, insane amounts of power, coffin on wheels. The people who drive it are very respectable and very fun to race against. I mean, what is there to hate about this car? There is everything to love about this car. There is nothing to hate about this car. So I'm going to go S tier for the Lotus 49. I couldn't put it anywhere else. What an awesome car to drive. And, in my opinion, the hardest car to master on the service. I think that might be quite a contentious debate. But for me, the Lotus 49 has the largest learning curve. Or sorry, I should say the steepest learning curve of any car on the sim. Okay, powering on. Still got a little bit to go, but we are getting there. Next up was the Lotus 79. Very different, although still very old, like the Lotus 49, but it's very different from the Lotus 49. A lot more aero, still H pattern, still got a clutcher in, smaller wheels, bit easier to follow in this car, and very satisfying when you overtake people. A very fun car to hot lap. Not as good as the 49. But I'm going to put it at the top of pretty good car. I think it is better than the Dallara F3. It is a fun car to drive. It's a car I don't really drive too much of, but fun nonetheless. Yeah, pretty good car, the Lotus 79, I have to say. Up next, USF 2000. This one is not that good. Awful set of brakes. Honestly, it would be more effective if they made the brake discs out of cheese on this car. Cheese brake discs would be more effective than whatever the hell's on it right now, because they don't work. It's okay. It's gonna go at the bottom of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. It's not that good. And then continuing on with that theme, we've got the Indy Pro 2000 PM, which is, in my eyes, essentially just a higher powered version of the USF 2000, and for that reason I'm going to put it at the top of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, because on ovals that car actually is pretty fun to drive. It's like a baby Indy car, which I'm not complaining about. Decent car to drive. Yeah, I'll put it at the top of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. It's not too bad at all. And continuing on even more, next up is the Legacy Pro Mazda. This is a very fun car to drive. I've never had the privilege of racing this car, but I have driven it plenty of times, and oh my god, it is fun. Very, very small, short wheelbase, very snappy, and a great power to weight ratio. So I'm going to put it in pretty good car. It's not, actually, no, it is going to go in all sign me up, because if there was a race for this, I'd be signing up for it in a heartbeat. But there isn't one. Still going to go in all sign me up though. Very fun little car to drive. But we're going to move away from that one, because I don't have too much to say on it. Next up, it's the Dallara IL-15. Obviously, this is the Indy Lights car. I like the challenge of push to passes. Very nice. It's very powerful. Slides a lot on corner exit, which I'm a big fan of. I don't like an oversteering car to be quick, but I do like an oversteering car to have fun in. So for that reason, I'm going to put this in pretty good car. It's a decent car. I like driving. I like racing it especially. Obviously, if you guys, very dedicated viewers on the channel would have remembered the, oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. Oopsie daisy. Put that back there. Long-term viewers of the channel would have remembered the IL-15 video in the officials I made probably about 2 months ago. And that was one of the best races I've ever had. So I'm going to put this in pretty good car. I'm going to put it behind the Dallara F3. And behind the Toyota GR86. But a fun car to drive. A car I really enjoy driving. And I love the push to pass element. But I've never done an official one of these on an oval before. So I can't really comment on that. But I think it'd probably be ranked higher if I had done an oval on it. But anyway. Next up is the IR18. Yeah. If I'd done this tier list video 7 months ago, I would have put this in all sign me up. But I'm sort of got a love-hate relationship with this thing. I don't like it on road courses. I feel like it's too heavy, it's too clunky, it's too powerful. Obviously it is an IndyCar, so you're going to expect that. And the setup's very confusing. So on a road course I don't like it, but on an oval this thing comes alive. And I really like it. One of the best combos for me, I feel like, at least in oval racing, do an IndyCar race, official IndyCar race, at Michigan Speedway. At Michigan, what is it? International Speedway. One of my favourite oval tracks, and with an IndyCar there, very, very fun. So I'm going to put it in pretty good car. I'm going to go, I think I'd rather drive the IL-15. And I would rather drive that over the MX. So I'm going to put it there at the top of pretty good car. Because it is a pretty good car. I do like it on ovals, I just don't like it on road courses. Sort of 50-50 on that one. Okay, so continuing on with our IndyCar theme. We've got 2 Legacy IndyCar now. First we've got the DW12. This one is sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I don't mind it. It's okay. But it's not amazing. I don't like the gear ratios on it. I think it's very odd. And it does feel very odd on road courses. So I'm going to go sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit for the DW12. But for the IR05, I'm actually going to put this in all sign me up. Because that is actually a fun car to drive. A lot of power. I think it's one of the fastest ones of the lot. But they had it in some week 13 stuff at like the end of 2024. They had this series which was like, it was like all IndyCar. So you had the IR05, the DW12, and the IR18, and that was fun. So I'm gonna put the IR05 in all sign me up, and yeah. Okay, next up, oh, and a little bit more to my liking, the Formula 1 cars. Mercedes, the W13. This is a car I've done one race in. At Phillip Island. It was a full-length race, 67 laps. Don't do that in the comments, I know what you're thinking. This was a pretty fun car to drive, a pretty fun car to race. Not a fun car to hot lap, though, I feel like. For that reason... where was I? For that reason, I'm going to put it in pretty good car. I'm going to go below the Clio. I'm going to put it there. Yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Not too bad of a car, but the next car up on this is the W12. I prefer a lot more. I love hot lapping in this thing. This is a very fun car to drive. Not in all sign me up, but a pretty good car nonetheless. So I'm going to put it above the IR15. Actually, no, I'm going to put it at the top of pretty good car. I love driving it. It's a very fun car to drive. It looks great. It feels great. Yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Okay, next up, now we're getting into the oval section of the video. This is where my knowledge is going to become a bit fuzzier. First up, we've got the Legends car. I'm going to put this in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Because I'm not a massive fan of it. I like it on short ovals. I don't like it on road courses. I have seen one of these things drive in real life, and in real life it looked very cool. I saw it at the Race of Champions in Sydney in 2025, and that looked cool. But not the best car to drive for me. I'm not a massive fan. So I'll put that in. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Mini stock, same thing. It's good sometimes, it's bad sometimes. If the dirt mini stock is in here, you're gonna see what I think of that. I'm also gonna rename this tier to utter shite, because the cars are going in there. That is what they will be. But yeah, the mini stock's okay. The asphalt one is decent. I don't mind the asphalt one. You can get some good racing on there on some of the short ovals. It is very fun on intermediate ovals such as Charlotte, which I have raced at there before, which was very fun. So that one's kind of in the middle of the road. And then same thing with the street stock. But definitely the best out of the three. I have done that street stock league before. That was very fun. So I'm going to put it in sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit. But I'm going to throw it above the GTPs. I'm going to throw it there because it is actually decently fun. I'm going to put it above the Mustang too. Decent little car, that. But not good all the time. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, so next up is the Legacy truck. I don't like this car that much, to be honest with you. It's not very good. It's not my cup of tea. Better than a Pontiac Solstice, to be completely honest with you. But still not great. I don't really have much to say about this because I've only ever driven it at Legacy Daytona in that one series, the Legacy Truck series. So that one's okay. And then next up is the next-gen Ford Mustang, the next-gen car. I'm only going to rank one next-gen car because I've only got one. This one's okay. I literally just did a race here at Atlanta Echo Park like 2 days ago. It was a decent little race. But I'm not super keen on the next gens. I do like them on road courses. I'm not a big fan of them on ovals, especially super speedways, because it's hard to draft in them. And they very much get caught by side draft, and you can very much easily lose a run. So it's hard to make moves on it. So I'm going to go in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I'm going to go ahead of the Formula V. I'm going to go there. I think that's fair enough for the next gen. Not my favourite car. Okay, still powering through. What do we got next? Late model stock. I've driven this a couple of times. I'm not a massive fan. It's okay. It is actually kind of fun on a road course, though. So I'm going to put it in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I'm going to put it above some of these. I'm going to put it above the Cadillac. I'll put it behind the Porsche Cutlow. Decent little car. Haven't driven it too much. Now, the SK Modifieds. These are cars that I like. Very fun. I'm going to put this in pretty good car. I'm going to put them above the Mission R. I'm going to put them both in the same category because to me they're the exact same. I literally could not tell them apart. I think one's got more power, and that's it. But don't quote me on that. But those are decent cars. I do like those. I like because it's in a way it's kind of an open wheel on a short oval, which sounds good. But it's got like those barge board things which don't really let you hit the other wheels. But they are fun cars to race, and I think they're a unique challenge compared to other oval cars. So I'm going to put them there. And then next up is the Monte Carlo Chevrolet, the old NASCAR, so the Gen 3. This is a fun car to race. This is fun. We're going to go in a pretty good car. We're going to go above. We'll just slap it in there. Yeah, why the hell not? Decent car to race. Obviously, we just did the Firecracker 400, and that was fun. And actually, surprisingly fun on short ovals. You wouldn't think it, but they are. And they blow over as well, which is just extra funness. Okay, carrying on even more. Currently, that is the Legacy Gen 4. I'm just going to put it at the bottom here because I've never really raced it. Oh, I raced it a couple times. And then the actual Gen 4. So the current Gen 4 is exactly the same as the old one. So I'm going to throw them in sometimes maybe. I'm going to throw them in the top of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Because they actually aren't bad. These are pretty decent cars. I do like driving them on ovals. On road courses, they're pretty fun. I like the braking capabilities of them. One of the best combos for this is Daytona Road Course. Very fun, actually, if you haven't tried it. And you can't bump draft in them, interestingly, because if you do, you sort of get under the car in front and you lift him up, you turn him. So that's interesting. That's like a unique way of racing these cars. So I'm going to say top of the middle category for the Gen 4s. I don't mind them at all. And we're going to press on. We're going to knock out the last of these oval cars before we get into the dirt part of this video. And this is the COT. Very fun car to race. Very, very fun. I'm going to put it ahead of the Gen 4 at the top of there. Yep. Then Gen 4, we've already rated it. There are a lot of Gen 4s here. We'll just chuck it in there. And then finally, that is all the oval cars. Okay, so now we get into the dirt oval section. Not something I'm confident with talking about, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because it's in the tier list. You've got to do it. First up is the dirt mini stock. First car in utter shite. Absolutely dog shit. Hate it. Next, dirt street stock is okay. I'm going to put it in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, because this is actually a decent car to drive. Don't mind it. And then the dirt midget. A car I quite like. It's my second favourite dirt car. So I'm going to put it at the bottom of pretty good car. Not too bad. Not too bad. Next up is the dirt micro sprint. This is the winged one. I'm going to put it in kind of shit. I'm also going to move, while we're at it, I'm going to move the Pontiac Solstice down to utter shite. I've changed my mind on that. I don't like it at all. So it's going to move down another tier. And then quickly, we've got the winged sprint cars. So the 305 is kind of shit. I'm not a big fan. The 360s are kind of shit, but they're better than the 305s. And the 410s are up here. 410s are okay, I'm just not good at driving them. Okay, moving on now. Next, we've got the limited dirt late model stock. These, out of all the dirt cars, the late model stocks are my favourite. But the limited one is kind of shit. It's too slow for my liking, and it's easy to bog down. Next one is the Pro. Driven this once, so it's going to go at the bottom down here, above the 410. But then the Super. Now, this is a fun car. Pretty good. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put this in All Sign Me Up, because that is my favourite dirt car, and that is a car I am a big fan of. Very much like the late model Super. Out of all the dirt cars, easily my favourite one. Easily. Then we're going to move on to... those are the non-winged sprints. I don't have those. I forgot to put those there. So we'll chuck those in there. Then we've got the 358 big blocks. The dirt big block 358s. These are okay. I'm going to put that one... I'm going to put them both at the bottom of maybe good, maybe shit. Because they're okay. I've only driven them once or twice, so... They're not too bad. But they have, like, weird... They kind of, like, lift up off the ground with the front wheels, which is awkward. So, yeah, they're okay. Next up is the... this is the Dirt UMP. A car I used to like when I first started dirt racing, but then as I sort of bought more of the dirt cars, I realised that this one is kind of obsolete and kind of shit. So I'm going to put it at the top of kind of shit. I don't drive it anymore because it's now a B-class series, which I have no interest in. And yeah, it's actually not as good as what it originally was. Next up is the Cross Kart. The Cross Kart is pretty fun. I'm going to put it in pretty good car. I'm going to put it above some of the GT3s. Actually, I'm going to put it above the GT3s because it's actually a very fun car to drive. You get quick action, you know, it's like 6-lap races on rallycross tracks. Not too much more to ask for, really. Very fun. I'm a big fan of the Cross Kart, and I'm glad they added it to the game because I think they needed a bit more variety in the game, and they didn't have anything like it when it was added. So I'm hoping they add more stuff like that in the future because it's very fun. Okay, next up, we got some Pro Trucks to rank. So first up is the Pro 2 Lite. This one's kind of shit. I'm not a big fan of the Pro 2 Lite. It's a bit slow. It's a bit too slow, considering it's essentially a trophy truck. But it is kind of fun, the fact that it's rear-wheel drive. So I'm going to put it in kind of shit. the regular Pro 2, I'm going to put at the bottom of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, because I don't mind it. But my favourite of the trucks is the Pro 4, which is going to go into All Sign Me Up. I'm a big fan of the Pro 4. I like the all-wheel driveness. I like that it's got a lot of power, and a Pro 4 truck at Crandon is very bueno. I'm a big fan of the Pro 4. And I think it's leagues better than the Pro 2 and the Pro Lite. Okay, so now we've just got some rallycross cars, a few legacy cars, and then we're done. So, first up is the VW Beetle Lite, the rallycross car. This one is okay. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Better than other cars in here, so I'm going to throw it up there. But then the actual VW Beetle, is going to go in pretty good, because I am a bit of a rallycross fan. I do like rallycross when I do it. So I'm going to throw it there. Same with the Ford Escort, not Ford Escort, the Ford Fiesta RS. I'm going to throw it above the Beetle. I prefer it over the Beetle, and I actually prefer it over the Dirt Midget as well, so I'm going to throw it there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw the Ford Fiesta up a bunch. I'm going to put it, yeah, about there. It's fair enough. I do like the Ford Fiesta, a fun car to drive. Next up is the C7 prototype, the Chevrolet. I've driven this once in a race. It was decent. I'll put it there. I don't really have too much of an opinion on said car. Better than a Porsche Cup, though, I think. And then the Riley. The Riley prototype. This is a fun little car to drive. Prototype with manual shifting, clutch H pattern, etc. Quite slow compared to other things around it, but a lot of downforce. And it looks funny, so I'm actually going to put it there because that's not too bad of a car. I'm a subtle fan of the Riley prototype, not too bad at all. Next up is the Z4. Very fun car to drive. This I love the Z4. Very, very awesome. I've just lost it. Oh shit! Where did I put the Z4? No. Oh, this isn't good. This is not good. I've lost the Z4. I think it landed in here somewhere, but I honestly don't know. No, I was gonna put it up the top in All Sign Me Up because I do love the Z4. I've now got to go back and find it because I unclicked. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. Where is the Z4? Where's the Z4, man? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Found it. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at the. No, I'm gonna put it above. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. Fun car, the Z4. I'm a big fan of it. We did that endurance race, which Andrew hosted, and we did it in the Z4, and that was really fun. So I'm gonna go there. And 2 more cars to do. The old BMW GT4 M4. Throw it in there. Can't really remember. And then the old V8 supercar, the previous one, before the current generation. This car was kind of fun. But, yeah, I'll put it at the bottom of pretty good car. And there you go. It is quite late, so I'm going to end this video. But there is our tier list. Well, I kind of lied. Before we completely end this tier list, I'm just going to make a few adjustments. I'm going to throw, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the micro winged car down into utter shite, first of all. We're also going to throw the new 992.2 car down into utter shite, first of all. Then, what we're also going to do is we are going to put the Mustang GT3 and the GTPs into pretty good car as well, for good measure. And then, finally, I am going to put the Aston Martin GT4 in S tier for a start. I'm also going to put the Super Formula SF23 in S tier. And that is going to conclude our list. So definitively, my favourite car to drive on the service is the Formula Renault 3.5. And that is going to conclude this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Sorry I had to be a little bit quieter, but I think the family's gone to bed, so I should probably wrap this up as quickly as I can. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in to the end. If you have made it this far, you are a real one. And if you have, why don't you subscribe? Because be very kind of you. But it's going to be it from me. hopefully you all enjoyed. Stay safe, have an awesome day, make awesome choices wherever you are in the world, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.